Hi, this is Dr. Darwin Hayes, the new dentist coach, with another edition of Ask Dr. Darwin, where you ask questions about your dental oral health care, things that you want to achieve with your oral health, or questions about the profession of dentistry as a career, whether as a pre-dental student, current dental student, a resident, or a new dentist practicing less than 5 years. And today's episode, we're going to be talking to future student Dr. Mercedez, who's this is part two of our Q&A session that we've had with her. We're going to be talking about her recent dental school interview, about the different questions that were asked at her interview, but also we're going to be talking about how to follow up after the interview. Be sure, if you like this video, to share it with others, and be sure to subscribe below on my YouTube page, Dr. Darwin Speaks. You can also send me questions at any time at newdentistcoach@gmail.com. That's newdentistcoach@gmail.com. Please stay tuned, because I usually will be posting every Monday and one day during the week as well. So, future student Dr. Mercedez, welcome. So how did it go? How did it go at your first interview?
Oh, it went well. I'm proud to say that it went very well. It was less intense than I expected it to be.
Okay.
So I'm really grateful for that. It was very relaxed. The setting at the school was like perfect. My interviewers were very relaxed. It was like I basically had a conversation with them. It wasn't like a drill type of interview. It was literally like, I'm trying to get to know you. We've already read what you've submitted on paper. We know your scores. We know what you've done already. So we just want to get to know you as a person, like to get a feel of your personality. That's what I got from it. Overall, I think it went well. Hopefully, I'm hoping it went well. Yeah.
Well, this was your first interview, if I remember. So
Yeah. Yes.
So it's it's hard to compare to other ones that you've had, because I'm sure if you were to ask other students that have applied and had interviews, I'm sure they would say that not all the interviews are the same. Are the same, you know?
Yeah. No. Yeah, no. Mhm.
Yeah, definitely not the same. So the fact that you got this one under your belt and felt pretty good about it, but you're right, it's just pretty much like a conversation, and they have all their information. They're just looking for how the person in front of them and the information that they have, how that matches the person that's in front of them, how that stuff on the paper comes alive.
Right.
And I know from our
Right.
previous conversation that you have a lot of energy. You probably were very energetic and very enthusiastic and appreciative of the opportunity.
I was.
So I'm sure all of that came out during the interview.
Yeah, it was great. I have a set of questions. You gave me like a bunch of questions that I like reviewed and I went over and things like that. The one question that came up in both interviews was just to tell me about yourself. And then from that question, there were like that question basically led the whole conversation that we had. They didn't go through like a list of like 10 questions or anything like that. I think maybe that's just the structure of that specific university. I feel like that's how they interview their interviewees. So they had asked me that question, and then one of my interviewers had asked me about one word that I would use to describe myself. And then, yeah, so that one was a good one. I had to take a second and think about that one, but I think I gave a pretty good answer. I told her that I would consider myself optimistic. And then she had asked me, like, okay, how would that relate to your journey to dental school thus far? And I
Mm-hmm.
just told her that at this point, like, I've done everything that I can do, and I've shown myself to be a competitive applicant through my coursework, through the things that I've engaged in, through my extracurriculars, through my current job position. And at this point, I'm very optimistic that God will honor all the hard work that I've put in. And she seemed to like that response, especially because the school is very big on faith. So, and I knew that from even like their motto is worship of God through service to mankind. So I made sure that I tied in my faith and how I believe that it will carry me further through the dental
Yes.
profession.
And I think that's a good segue into reiterating the fact that when you go on these interviews, you really have to find out what the mission, what the purpose, and the values of what the school is, so that it ties into your questions and your answers, because that's what they're looking for. They're looking for people that have that same type of alignment in their characteristics and that embodies who they are. So that's one of the reasons why they probably asked that question about that one word that describes yourself and how that relates to your dental school journey. So good that you did that extra homework and finding that out, because it came up. Right? It came up.
It did. It did. And then there was another question she had asked was if I had a magic wand and I could use that magic wand to change anything in the world, what would I do? What would I use it for?
Uh-huh.
And so again, I had to take a second to think about that because I didn't expect that question. So I was like, oh, okay. So I thought about it, and I told her that I would eliminate all the hatred in the world. And then I went on to explain why and how if there was less hate, or if there was no hate in this world, there would be peace, there would be love, there would be joy. People would be more considerate of others. I don't even remember everything that I said to her, but that was like the gist of the answer that I gave for that question.
Okay.
And yeah, so none of the questions were there was no questions on like, tell me what you did in undergrad to prepare for this. Like because they had reviewed already my application, already knew all of that stuff. So there was nothing like actually about like my grades. There was nothing like that. It was just like more so I think they were trying to get a sense of my personality more than anything.
Right.
So yeah.
Okay. That's good. Now, overall, what did you like best about that interview, about interviewing there? What did you like best? Would you like best, or would you like least?
Okay. Let's start with the least. I really don't have anything bad to say about that interview. I've been on several interviews, whether it's for like jobs or internships and things like that, and I could say that this was the most relaxed interview. I felt like I could genuinely be myself. Like I didn't have to give them the answer that they were looking for. You know, it was more so I was giving you the real raw me. Like this is what it is. Like I'm not putting up any kind of front. I'm not faking the funk, nothing. Like, this is it. This is what I have to give you. This is me. I'm not. And honestly, and they, as the school, they were selling themselves too. Like as much as I had to sell myself as an interviewee, I felt like as interviewers, they were selling their school even more, you know? So that was very interesting to me. I mean, that was my first dental school interview, so I'm sure maybe all dental schools do the same thing. But there was a lot of encouragement. They mentioned several times that all the interviewees there were diamonds in the rough, and that wherever we decide to go, we'll succeed, and that there was something special in each one of our applications that have brought us here, and they hope that we choose that school specifically. Like, it was just so encouraging. It gave me a sense of peace.
Mm-hmm.
My anxiety level was like at 100 when I was taking my Uber ride to the campus.
Right.
But as soon as I walked into the school and like met with the interviewers, it like went down. It was just very relaxing.
That's good. That's
Yeah.
good. So sounds like those are all part of the things that you like best also, being it relaxed, able to give answers that you felt that were truly, genuinely part of you as a person versus answers do you think maybe they would have wanted to hear, and the fact that they gave a lot of encouragement. That's good. Anything you would do differently, knowing what you know now? Is there anything that you would have done differently or would have said differently? It maybe not.
No, not anything I can think of right now.
Maybe if they had,
that comes to mind.
I was gonna say maybe if they had extended a letter of admissions, that would have been nice right then and there, right on the spot.
That would have been real nice. That would have been great.
Right.
Oh my.
Okay, well that's good. That's good. Sound like it was a good overall interview. So that's good. Now, the follow-up. What do you think? You know, we talked before in the preparation phase. We talked about, we were meeting everyone, getting their names, and trying to remember one or two things that you talked about with each person, for the reason of making sure that you could follow up with them with a thank you card and an email, but also most importantly, one of these, I don't know if you can see these, but one of these thank you cards. I think that's going to be key. So were you able to kind of, are you planning on doing that, or how do you, how do you think you're going to be able to really best follow up with everyone?
Well, I have a question about that. So, we were told that the admissions committee is going to meet this upcoming Tuesday. So I was like, how am I going to make sure that I send a thank you card that's going to make it there by Monday? That was my question.
Yeah.
Or if I should just send an email or send both. I don't know.
Well, it's good that you found out that information. It's bad that the time frame is very short. So that means this weekend you got to get busy for a good 30 minutes. I would send emails if you had the email addresses. Hopefully you were able to pass out your business card, and in exchange they gave you theirs. And I would send the email out on Monday. But over the weekend, I would get a pack of these cards. And how many people did you meet with?
Only 2.
Okay, so that's easy. So I would get a set of cards, send 2 cards to the people, and you may want to priority mail it. Actually, today, you can priority mail it. Go to the post office today, priority mail it, and it may get there by Monday, no later than Tuesday. So you'll have the email already sent out on Monday. These things will be written up in the air, and they probably will be delivered Monday or Tuesday so that you'll have them. For each person, I would do a separate thank you card and addressed to them. But in the overall big envelope, the priority mail envelope, I would send it to one of them. And even though 2 of the cards are going to be in the envelope, the other one that's addressed to the other person, hopefully person A will deliver it to person B.
Okay. Okay.
So
Sounds
that,
like a plan. So
yeah.
what I write, I would write two separate messages. So the email that I send should be different from the card, correct? Okay.
It
Okay.
can be, but it should be two, right? Two people, so each of them get their own email and each of them get their own thank you card. Yes.
Okay.
And I would highlight,
Okay.
something unique about them in your conversation that you had directly, well, collectively with them, but something, maybe a question that one of them asked specifically, maybe you can reiterate your answer and tie it into how you think, well, tie that question, that answer back into why that's going to make you why you're one of the best candidates for admissions for the class of 2022.
Okay. Okay.
I mean, you're very savvy. You've been in the workforce. You've dealt with people before, so that should be that's an easy task for you to be able to tie it in. But like I said, it's doing this. I mean, everyone sends an email, but not everyone sends one of these thank you cards, and that's that personal touch and that relationship building that I think will make it unanimous. In addition to how you interviewed and your enthusiasm and just your energy, I think that's going to make the difference and allow them not to have any other choice but to put your name down for the class of 2022.
Okay, great. So I'll definitely do that today. I'll mail that out.
Yeah,
I'll mail the cards out today. So I'll draft up like a small note for both of them. And
yeah, nice handwritten note. You may even want to put your business card in there again. Again, it just kind of displays and shows professionalism. And so they know that who they're getting is a class act and a professional.
Great. Great. Okay.
Good.
I'll definitely do that today.
Well, I'm so excited for you. I can't wait to hear the final results. I know it's going to be a positive one. And I know this is a place that you've researched and been very, very interested in for a long period of time. So we're just going to have to keep our faith and prayers and let him guide the way. And you can push it along a little bit by your own follow-up that you're getting ready to do now in preparation for their meeting on Tuesday. So.
Okay. I'll definitely do that. Thank you so much, Dr. Hayes.
You're welcome. And thank you all for joining us today. If you all have questions or you have a similar situation that you want to share, you want to get some feedback on, feel free to shoot me an email at newdentistcoach@gmail.com, newdentistcoach@gmail.com. Thanks so much, future student Dr. Mercedez. And
thank you.
We'll be in touch, okay?
Thank you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Bye.